hello, viewers. If you're following me, I want to say welcome. My name is Dr. Clarence R. Pearson, and I want to say welcome to this live broadcast. If you're following me that way on Facebook or LinkedIn or YouTube, I want to say please just hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Just hit that subscribe button on YouTube. If you're following me by way of Facebook, LinkedIn, just share it, right? It's my lunch break at work where I am right now. Where I am is about 12 or noon in the afternoon in the USA, and in Liberia this time is about 5 p.m. In the late afternoon time, 5 p.m. in the late afternoon time. So I want to say welcome to this broadcast. We are discussing issues pertaining to Liberia. Like normally will say that Liberia is all we have, and our country is so important to us. And so we encourage Liberians wherever you are to get involved in the day-to-day activities of politics in our country, meaning have interest in your country, uh, be willing to participate as much as you can, right, in the development in the country. So I'm taking a brief moment to discuss on the melting pot. It's a platform for what we refer to as Liberia Sustainable Development Think Tank. And the purpose for this broadcast all of the time is to ensure that we remain engaged in the body politics of Liberia, and that we can contribute our own opinion, make some recommendations, give some critical thinking that will help friends, family, and even government officials in decision making, policy formulation, planning, and activities in the country. So, what are we going to be talking about? Now that I got your attention, we will be talking about how leaders think, and we'll be talking about short term versus long term win. All right. So right now in Liberia, our economy is one of the major concern, and our economy being one of the major concerns, brings up the conversation where people are all talking about the United States government changing policy in foreign aid policy, and how that foreign aid policy is hurting Liberia. Not only Liberia, but a lot of countries around the world. In fact, South Africa is in a very serious confrontation with the US government when it comes to aid related issues, right? So Liberia is not isolated in this issue. So, but as we all think about how we can address this issue, there are a lot of conversation going around, right? So there is this public talk about the minister of finance saying, like the clergy, yeah, let's pray about this thing and commit it to God. That's a good thing to do, right? And there are some of us who have who commented and said, listen, yeah, prayer works, but prayers also can be impacted by different factors. So yeah, foreign aid works, but foreign aid also can be impacted by different factors. So foreign aid works. So if other foreign governments have interest in your country, they can help you with money. But when there's strain in that diplomatic relationship, that diplomatic ties, obviously it's going to impact the aid that is coming to your country, like we're seeing right now in Liberia. In as much as we have a good relationship with America for over 200 years, when there is a president who has his own agenda and has other issues going, that whole relationship can become shaky and whatever the case is. And now Donald Trump in America and the current U.S. Republican Party president saying, "Listen, we want to be very careful how we spend money outside of our country, the U.S. We want to be concerned about how we treat our people in here because we got people that are suffering here." So I mean that's a fair argument. So he has this thing they call Dodge, DOGE, uh, and their own goal is to see how they can cut waste in their own American government spending, right? And so that comes to hurt Liberia as well. So our finance minister was able to tell us that we're talking about how leaders think, right, in this critical time. Our finance minister comes and tells us that, listen, we currently with official communication to the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning, through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, who is responsible for interacting with international bilateral partners and telling us, multilateral partners to also to add, telling us, oh, look, okay, the US government has said clearly that this number of programs and projects they run in Liberia will be cut. And what Gafwan said to the legislature, to the House of Senate the other day, is that at least up to $51 million, 51 US million dollars is going to be cut immediately in Liberia. So in fact, he said those projects don't exist right now. It's cut off, and there are some that are cutting off or winding down. It's not going to be redone, continue. So these are all troubling concerns, and these are areas that affect health, education, fiscal strengthening, like LRA, giving money to LRA to strengthen LRA for tax collection. It goes as far as our local NGOs, some NGOs that we got in Liberia working like in different sector, what they call good governance, rule of law, and other kind of thing, community awareness and other programs. So a lot of these things are cut. So many people who were working with USAID in Liberia, in smaller NGOs across Liberia or in the different counties, are going to be out of job. And then the American government support for, they used to help us to support the issue about drugs and medication being, logistical support for drugs and medication being distributed across the country so that we don't run other drugs across the country. That also has been cut off. Training for some health workers has also been cut off. Support for education, the education sector has been cut off. And there are many other things, support to elections, and elections supervision and strengthening of the elections commission, that also has been cut off. So a lot of things have been cut off up to $51 million. So I'm talking about how leaders think, right? So how leaders think. So one of the things you want to take into consideration here is that the first thing the leaders of our country are thinking on is that, so how is this going to hurt us? Because every time we do our national budget, for those of us who are not following these things, every time we do a national budget, your national budget is your country plan in money plan in terms of how um the government is going to run itself, right? So the government has to run, and it has to run on money. So when we are planning in our national budget, what we call the national budget, sometimes we put less money in some areas because one of the partners, like for example USAID, is putting money in that area already. We call it sector. So if the USAID is putting money in that area to cover up some expenses that we supposed to cover up, but now they're covering it up, even if they're doing it through other people, through other partners, they call it local partners or international partners, it means to say it cut down on how much we put in our budget in that area. So a lot of the time, and even this going 2025 budget that was passed by the illegal House of Representatives, there are areas like agriculture, the education, like health. These are major areas. The rule of law and security and other things. So these are major areas that will be understated. Understated means, you budget low because you're expecting something else to come from somewhere, right? So leaders now start to think as to where now can we be careful enough to ensure that the way we distributed that money and left some area low because of what we're thinking about or expecting is not going to come. So how do we go back now and cut it? So some of the things that we we hear our finance minister saying, besides calling on us to pray, he called on a local radio this morning, OKFM, and he said, oh, he was speaking to Clarence Ja. He said, oh, Clarence, the Liberian people just misunderstood me. Some people just ran with the thing for political reason. It's not that I'm saying, we should pray, don't take action. He said, even if I'm a man of faith, even if I get faith and I'm praying, we are taking action as well. So that makes sense. That makes sense. But now let's look at it, some of the things he mentioned. He said, so they're doing some physical discipline, so they're cutting down on some wasteful spending. So some of the things they say they're cutting down on is How many people can travel when they want to travel out of the country? In terms of minister, the deputy minister, other people that go with the deputy minister, and other areas in government. That when you traveling, cut down your number of dedication. But that law, that physical discipline does not apply to the president. It does not apply to the vice president. It does not apply to certain people like the speaker. And by the matter of fact, those are the people who travel expenses even more, right? But it doesn't apply to those other key people like the president, other people who travel a lot and travel a lot of people. So it doesn't apply to them. They're the Ministry of State. So, and then he talk about ministers and things. So let's go down again. He said then it comes before now. He also sent a circular up that said one time ago, some time ago, I think it was last month, that said they were making adjustments in some workers' pay. So they were giving pay range like 500 out of this, 1,000 to this. So when they get a pay range, they said they were cutting to a certain degree, bringing people's pay down a certain degree based on the kind of work they do. So they did manage to do some cutting in that area. Another thing they just did again recently was to make some cuts in, for example, uh, gasoline, apportionment, gasoline, scratch card, and thing. And then they also called on autonomous agency, or what they call state-owned enterprises, to look down in the budget and do what they call prioritize a priority, meaning put first thing first that you think is more important to you, so that in case there's no money in the budget. When they say no money in the budget, they're talking about the budget envelope. So budget in Liberia is usually a projection of what you expect to get in revenue, and then how you're going to spend it, what our budget is. So he's saying make sure when you spend in a way that you spend what you need to spend on that is more important to you, so that when there is not sufficient money generated because of these different issues that we're having, then even if you have budget shortfall means what we collect through revenue generation is not equal to what we want to spend. Then it's not going to be too, it's not going to hurt you too much, which means what you're not going to get money for the year to spend, it's not going to hurt you too much because it was not that important. Even it is important, but not as important as the ones that you already had to spend on that were very more important, right? Okay, so having said that, right now, those things that I have seen so far in terms of the cutting down in our budget, they are not significant, meaning they are not the things that we are worried about most. You remember the last time I was here on the melting pot, where we discussed major issues happening in Liberia. When I was on the melting pot, you remember when I said about cutting leakages in revenue, and then I was talking about how money get wasted that we are not really collecting because somebody is diverting it into their personal pockets or putting it aside for them to benefit on the side instead of it coming through real revenue streams. Remember, I mentioned that, and I mentioned that it is important for us to have what I refer to as a one stream flow of our revenue into let me see, let me put it this way. I describe it this way: in Liberia, when you go to buy petroleum, especially those who sell alongside the road, out of us in Liberia, right? Or if you went to buy petrol or gasoline in your container, you came home to put it in your generator, your electric power generator, portable electric power generator in Liberia. Because of electricity problem, a lot of people have generator also. So if you want to pour your the container of gasoline in your generator, normally we use a little cup called funnel. It's a little cup. You open this, and then the pot is narrow with a little pipe to go into the container, into the generator, or into to your car where you're gonna put the gas, and then everything you're gonna dump into that funnel. The funnel serves as the catch point to put the gas into your car or into your home generator. So the concept I was driving home on that at that time in my last broadcast, when I was talking about how we can save in the leakages in how we collect revenue, I said let LRA be like that funnel. No fund possible fund generating entity, public entity in our country, whether it is ministry or agencies, or whether it's state-owned enterprises, autonomous agency, call it whatever name you want to call them. So long that area is bringing in revenue, that revenue must pass through that funnel through LRA, so we are able to account for every single revenue. And for those who want to argue and say, but we want to know what LPRC generates separately, we want to know what maybe Liberia Water and Seawater generates separate and other kind of thing, we're saying you are able to set codes that will identify where the money coming from in terms of which entity that money is coming through because of that entity. Even though the entity nowhere near it gonna be dealing with physical cash and sending it to a bank account that they have, and then they will collect from there and send it to LRA. No, it goes straight to LRA through a national revenue account at central bank, and then that one central bank that catching all that money that come in as revenue can have a code that will tell you what the revenue being generated for at the point of payment. So when you pay at that point of payment, the code then that there will identify what the payment is for and under which public institution or which state-owned enterprises that payment is going to be effected for. Right? So this way, somebody say, but what are they doing it when you go to pay money to government office? They can say they can get you sleep and say go pay to the bank. But that's true. I hear all the argument, but not every time when you go to pay to the bank that payment going to LRA. That payment sometimes goes to different institutions depending on what that payment is for. Right? And then those institutions now will have to tell RA or tell the government what they were able to generate in revenue. So I'm saying no. It shouldn't even go to any other bank account linked to any other public institution, whether ministry or agencies, or whether commissions, or whether state, whatever state enterprise. And I want to be so clear. I'm telling you, even if it mean maritime, then somebody else will say, but okay, I hear you saying you'll be able to capture all that money and code it so that we know where the money coming from. Even if it's for passport, it will say, yeah, this money that I'm paying is for passport and coming from Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So I will know it's for passport, I will know for Ministry of Foreign Affairs, but that money will not go to any account that Ministry of Foreign Affairs has. That money goes straight into the National Revenue account. Somebody say, oh, what's about the consolidated account? It's the same thing. No, the consolidated account may be the same idea, but people still have bank accounts separate from the consolidated account that they can take money from and chunk it to this consolidated account. So I'm saying no. Far removed from the consolidated account itself. Have a national revenue account in the central bank where every single revenue. So LRA may have its point of service, POS, at different ministries, agencies, SOEs, and other kind of different things, and everywhere in the country, in the counties and things, they may have their different stations. But once you pay money, it should go straight to that national revenue account. And that national revenue account through LRA, we have the different mechanism to be able to say what that money was for and which entity that money was generated in which entity name that money was generated. So it's able we can do that financially. They get instruments that can do that. So when we do that, another thing I mentioned was that then the budget that we normally would say we're making, usually you will hear they will say everybody make their own budget and other, because people control their own budget, they design their own budget and everything, and so many are able to cut corners. Then you hear people like you will hear right now, if you listen to the radio in Liberia, you hear right now they will say National Port Authority, LPRC, and other people, you hear them saying that they have a current program right now where they're saying they calling it, they want to empower youth, right? State-owned enterprises, YEP. State-owned enterprises, YEP. State-owned enterprises meaning YEP meaning Youth Empowerment Program, meaning they are saying, if you listen to the radio, you're hearing saying, oh, the state-owned enterprises, LPRC, Maritime, and other areas are putting money together to give people jobs. And the jobs they're giving people that will maybe sweep the street, maybe clean the different beaches and things like that. That's what I'm saying. That shouldn't be, that's not their role. That's not their function. That's not their role. That's not their function. Who deciding that they can take the Liberian poor money and decide to collect, maybe let me just say 200,000 people and get a small petty job around to be sweeping street or to be cleaning beaches. I'm not saying it's a bad idea, but who gave LPRC that? Who gave LPRC that right? Who gave National Port Authority manager that right? Who gave maritime people that right? That they will collect Liberian poor money, and then they say now we'll go and give 2,000 people job to be cleaning street. Who gave you the right? No, we made you maritime boss. We did not give you employment, responsibility to go employ people to go sweep the road. That's not maritime function. We did not give Amos to responsibility to go and employ people to go sweep street and clean beach. No, that is not a function. We're making manager of LPRC to manage LPRC function. We give somebody a role as a manager for maritime to manage maritime's function. We give them money to go employ people to go clean street and clean beaches. No. These are the reason why, at the end of the day, our priorities, like even the President Boyka arrest agenda for inclusive development, get lost with no funding to fund it, because people collecting money on the side and spending it the way they want to spend it. They are not chunking it into the arrest agenda. Now they will tell us, say, oh, it's going to support the arrest agenda. No, that's not true. No, that's not true. Because take for instance, who do you think Amos Tuer then and the UP appointees then in government want to give jobs to? Even we're talking about youth, they want to give jobs to the UP partisan who complain. The grassroots UP partisan who's complaining. When you see this and you go there, they will not look at your application, because right now they say they're accepting applications at the end of February, right? End of February, I think end of February or March or something. You think when Unity Party somebody apply and CDC somebody apply to that job that people say, they call it, say state enterprise YEP youth empowerment program is going to be getting project to go sweep the street. You think that United, like you think that CDC partisan talking about who get red bear on the hand and say I applying alongside UP partisan? No. So it is politicized. So the money that the countries will be collecting to spend on the national budget, few people decide that they will take some of that money that they've collected in their own areas and spend it on other people that they feel they want to spend it to. It's not civil servant agency who is deciding on how can we create jobs for the Liberian people. Different ministries and agencies send us a need for employment, areas that you have need for employment that will enhance your work that you're doing. Maritime, what type of work that you're doing that you need people for, that when we recruit them through civil service agency and send them to you, they will come and do the work that will enhance your ministry. What is boy name? Mo Ali, send us a list of youth, or not just youth, but send us a list of people that you need, that if we recruit them through civil service agency and send them to LWSC, verifiable names, people who meet the standard for civil service employment, based on the arrest agenda capturing number of employment that was done through 2020 through 2025. Civil service can say through 2025 under the arrest agenda, civil service were able to employ 1,000 people, 2,000 people. From this 1,000 or 2,000 people, 500 was sent to Ministry of Liberia Water and Civil. Let me put it that way. 22 was sent to Maritime. 500 was sent to maybe this other place, that other place. That's what we need to do. We do that, we account. We don't just go do political things. So Amos Tuer should not be having money he think he can use anything he want to use to give to few youth somewhere to go do sweeping job. Maritime boss should not think he got money that he can just spend anytime to get few youth job to go. Because that's the same thing we complain about when Joseph Boyka came. All the Ministry of State budget that they have for under 700 people that were doing different type of all jobs, maybe cleaning beach side, cleaning waterways and things, and then they say, oh, that was wrong thing. They cancel that whole payment stuff, and they cancel it. So why are we going back to it again through Amos Tuer, through Maritime, and through Sekou Dougley for national product? Why are we going back to the same thing? Isn't it the same partisan thing? So then when next government come there again, and they will fire all those people too? Because I am on certain enterprises, thing they're doing, and they will fire other people too, and then they will bring their own people who will come to power, they will bring their own partisans again. No. So what am I saying, my people? What am I saying? We need money. And the money we need, we are not getting it because there are people who are collecting money and using it as though it is their personal money. Now, let me take this conversation to the next. So that's why I said, make a national spending bill that capture all state-owned enterprises, ministries, agencies, commission, whatever the case is. And those state-owned enterprises, commissions, and other things should be focusing on operational spending. Spending that will make the area functional, operational and administrative cost. Nothing should be done about corporate social responsibility. Nothing should be done about we're going to empower community, we're going to empower youth. No, nothing of that sort. If you want to empower youth, then I will got Ministry of Youth and Sports. Ministry of Youth and Sports. Send the money to Ministry of Youth and Sports. When you Ministry of Youth and Sports send to civil service agency that the national budget this year to employ youth that will clean the streets, youth that will clean beaches up, not only okay, clean beaches. Yeah, then the Ministry of Youth and Sport will be able to have on their website how many youth was employed for 2025. We can go there and see the data. And so yeah, uh, 50,000 youth for employed for data. In the data, 50,000 youth was employed to sweep the street and clean the environment. Okay, somebody argue with me. All right, so take for example, Liberia State Corporation, Pinzo State Corporation. They are employing youth, or they want to employ youth to or people to clean the street and all that kind of thing like that. So I'm not this. I'm not arguing about those kind of employment. But what I'm saying here is that civil service should have representation across government. They should have representation across government, and they should be the one recruiting based on the need of any public institution that have need for human resource. All right. So say we are not talking about youth for tracking youth employment, right? So maybe youth and sports, the people say, oh, youth and sport can only track you. So youth and sport tracking youth employment in areas I just talked about, me cleaning street and whatever that will attract youth for employment, it's tracked through youth and sport. Whatever that will attract maybe other forms of employment beyond youth, of course, then Ministry of Labor can track those as well, inclusive of all other employability in the country with private and public sector. Youth Ministry of Labor can track how people are being, because civil service agency will be able to account for all state employee, all state employee, all. And that's what we're seeing is part of the decentralization project. Civil service functions should cut across all counties, all districts, so that at the end of the day, we can account and we can put numbers on, real numbers on how many people were employed across the country. And if we want to, and then we can say the different areas of employment and the different sectors that they work in, we can account for that. But if they want to go ahead and get out today and say, oh, you know what happened? I feel happy today. Maritime minister, I feel happy today. We could have some money in the government, know about, so we're feeling happy. We could have plenty of money now. We're excited. We want to spend it. So why not that spending cannot be done within the development agenda, capture under national development, under the national budget itself? Why can it be civil servants deciding who would they employ and who they will not employ? So they pass that. And let me say some of the things what I'm talking about, what I'm emphasizing this today. So CAFA is cutting down. If you go on my Facebook page, you will see the House of Representatives. I posted something there on my Facebook page. I posted the breakdown sheet of the House of Representatives, where the office of a representative, I'm saying all the representatives, just say one office of the representative, any one representative, one office of the representative, usually from that breakdown on that sheet, employs 17 staff members. They call in Liberia, we can say 17 staffers, STAFFERs, 17 staffers. So say there's 17 staffers, right? If you look at the sheet I got on my page, they got what they call salary, gross salary, and then they got communication. So the gross salary and they got communication set by. If you put the gross monthly salary of the individuals of the 17 people, and you put in the ranges between 100 and change to 600, like the maximum 600 and change on our list of the 17 people. So the highest pay on that list is $600 and change for salary, and the lowest pay on that thing is $100 and change for salary. Let me just put it that way. Okay, so or $300 and change, something like that. Per salary, or $200 and change, something like that. But at least that's the range, right? So I'm not even talking about people who making big money like they represented themselves, man, or the speaker they know. I'm talking about just these simple people who not even making enough to sustain themselves. These ordinary people. So I'm talking about how leaders think, right? And we're talking about managing our money. If you look at these 17 people that one office in the House of Representatives have, one office, the total amount of money that the scratch card and the take home pay is costing Liberian people taxpayer money is 19,000. Let me take my calculator. It's 19,000. Give me 1 second. Let me take my calculator. It's 19,000. I mean, every month, just for those 17 people, it's 19,000. If you put the scratch card and the salary together, it's $19,192. $19,192 for one office. For the representative to have 17 people working in his office. Have you ever been to the House of Representatives, the National Legislature? If you went there, let me tell you something. Our House of Representatives, the offices that we got there, I'm talking about the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker and the regular House of Representatives, that majority of them, that two rooms make one office, which means when you come from in the hall, the corridor, when you enter into the representative, the honorable male office or honorable woman office, the first place you meet, that where maybe the secretary or the special assistant thing will sit down. Majority of the rooms there. And then when you pass that first room, the next room you will see that where the representative will sit. Maybe if you went to the speaker, and then the speaker will have conference room, another office to the side, another office, which means they need that big title now. But for the regular ordinary representative, then two room space, the first entry that where the secretary or the assistant then will sit, and then the second place will be where the representative himself will sit or she will sit. Where if you want to make it even more elaborate, then which means there will be an additional one room making it three space. In there, you expect to keep 17 people. You're keeping 17 people on your list, and the 17 people include not just driver, it include Page, Page, it includes Cook, 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 and all that kind of thing. The question I'm asking myself here, if a country that is looking for money so that we are able to feed ourselves, give ourselves better health care, give ourselves better education. And we are the leaders are supposed to be thinking to take us out of that. And it's like you are the parent in your home, and your home is in such a bad state, and you are pressed for money. And your income or the money you getting, you earning is so small, and you're looking for a way to pinch it to help your children. Won't you be thinking about way to cut down on your spending? So what I'm saying here is that I'm not talking about the representative themselves, their own pay. I'm not talking about their own benefits. I'm not talking about anything. I'm just talking about the number of staff they put in the office for themselves. Just the number of staff they put in the office for themselves. 17 per one lawmaker. And that 17 per one lawmaker, if I take my calculator right now, if you put their salary, their take-home salary, and you put their scratch card money together, it's $19,192 for one office of a lawmaker. One office of a lawmaker. One office of a lawmaker. So let me times this by 12 months. for one lawmaker office, for the people who working in our 2 rooms of that one lawmaker office, that's 17 people. Imagine having 17 people in one room, or 17 people taking 17 people in one small office for one lawmaker, spending $230,304 every year for one office of a lawmaker, for one lawmaker office. Whether you want to say, you want to argue me, you want to say, oh yeah, but the person can have the person, even in, you gotta get district coordinator, they get at the head. Pray, tell me. Those of us who live in abroad, I live in abroad all my life. I know all of us in coming there again. Pretty soon I'll be there in less than a month from now. I'll be. How many times do our lawmaker go in the district and sit down there and say working in office, or they get the office door open in the district? How many times? Some of them when they become lawmaker, you don't see them again until the next election. How many times? Even the one who tried to run their offices at the district, who would just say that my office in the district open. How many person they get there actually really working and making good salary? How many? But they get 17 people on the list of who working for them in the office as lawmaker. That 17 people take $230,304 from the national budget. Follow me. Don't forget, I mentioned from the beginning. And I said, these are people who make chicken change. These are people who making chicken change. The only reason why I'm saying this, I'm talking about how do leaders think when they're planning, when you're trying to take your country from in a desperate situation and you want to carry for success tomorrow. How do you think that what I'm talking about, yo? How do you think? Looking at the short-term win compared to the long-term win. When you're planning as a leader, you can either plan for short-term win or you can plan for long-term win. You can also plan taking into consideration short-term win, and at the same time keep your eyes on long-term win. What are our leaders thinking on? When you're thinking for short-term win, you want to be moderate. You want to be moderate. You want to cut down cost. You want to cut down expenses so that you can plan and contribute for the long-term win, where your resources and your energy will be guarded in a strategic way that by the time your long-term win is successful, you will worry less about your short-term win. Right now, the way we're spending, we do not have the long-term win in mind that what I want to establish. And I want to use this as an example. And I'm using this, the less paid people in the House of Representative office. I'm using as an example because by the time we reach to the end of this discussion, then I will argue and say, then what if we take into consideration the representative pay and their benefits compared to, in addition to ministers and government ministers and things, their own pay and benefits. Then you compare to state-owned enterprises' own pay and benefits. And then you think, how much money are we wasting? For short term, every year we waste plenty of money every year. In short term, everybody eat short term, we finish eating, then we forget about the future way in front. So we just eating every day for one day. When we get broke again, we start tomorrow again. We eat again for one day. When we get broke again, we start tomorrow. We're not eating small for now and planning to keep more to spend for the long term. That's what I'm saying. So let me keep back to the topic. I want to go. So every House of Representative, every representative get 17 people in his office, and he's spending 19,000. I threw my pencil down and grab it. And they're spending $19,192 on those 17 people for each each representative. When you times that by 12 months, that one representative is spending $230,304 for that one representative. Now, I'm going to take this argument one step further. How leaders think. Let's say the same $19,190, my calculator here, that I draw my pencil, that I went back for it. The $19,192, that times it every month, $19,192 every month for one office of House of Representatives. This does not include the speaker salary, the speaker additional staff because the speaker get additional staff. The deputy speaker get additional staff. I'm putting those numbers that you're talking about the 17 for the if you are a regular representative, you get 17 people. You're pouring that paper to take pay in your office and get scratch card. In addition to that, that 19 people, we got 73 offices. So let times that 19,192 by 17 offices. So I come in 19,192 times 73 offices. 1,401,016 we spend every month. Every month. From the budget, from the we always say we don't have money. We don't have money. Just for representative, House of Representative, lawmakers, 73 lawmakers to keep, just so they can say they get people working for them in the offices. We spend as a country every month 1,401,016 on 73 lawmakers, people working in the office. 1,073 lawmakers. Now, don't let's take it one step again. Let's take it one step. Let's calculate this times 12 months. That's just 1 more year. Let's calculate on 12 months. So 1,401,016 times 12 months. Every year, lawmakers who don't even go to work correctly, they're not even going to work in office correctly. Whoever did their own break. And every day, they in some kind of plane coming to America, or going to Dubai, or going to China, going somewhere and go relax. Every year, how much do they spend on the number of people? They say that 17 people that are working in each of the offices, 17, 73 of them, 73 offices every year. How much do they spend? How much we spend on their offices? How much? And this does not include office material, stationery, printing, computer, including all things. Just I'm only talking about salary for 17 people to each representative office, 17 each times 73 offices. I'm only talking about the salary and the scratch card. All every year we spend 16,812,192 cents. 16,812,192 cents. How leaders think? Short-term win compared to long-term win. How leaders think? So let's talk about how leaders think. So think about 16.8 million in the national budget. I'm not talking about all the other things that are in the budget. I'm not talking about just for 17 members in each representative office times 73 lawmaker offices times 12 months. We spend 16.8 million for 73 lawmakers to have 17 people in office doing nothing. I would say doing nothing because I know Liberia. I would say doing, if even people working there, the volume of work in terms of output cannot be compared to the volume of this amount of money we're paying for their work. 16.8 million. Now, this is short term. Even if you want to call it win, but our brother didn't got job. But yeah, our sister didn't got job, our brother didn't got job. At least people got job, they can take something home for their family. I agree. That's what I'm saying. I'm not faulting our brothers in working in our office because even what they're making, that chicken change. But because we're looking at the short-term benefit, we think it's important. But let me tell you why it's not important. In the same national budget, how much you put there for agriculture for the whole year, for fiscal year 2025? How much you put there for agriculture? 15 million. So for lawmakers to run a useless office. Yeah, say I don't want to say so. See, I don't want the day I come to like bro, they want hold me in contempt, let them hold me in contempt. But the whole House of Representatives with a disgruntled failure to abide by the rule of law can go to work lawmakers and who illegally sitting, even though the Supreme Court said they are illegally sitting, they still sitting there, which means they are not working. Which meaning concession contracts that they're signing, people that they're making deals with in the business community, their business contracts, whatever they're doing with those people can be challenged by another government. Telling say, you company can here when you sign the paper here with a group of lawmakers, they were not legitimate based upon the Supreme Court ruling on this date and so did. All your thing you sign with them, blah 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 blah. They are all legal or illegal. The government or another government can come and cancel everything. So they are illegal. They work, even though they think they're working, but they are illegal. They're working. Just the same way President Boga comes today and he feel he can challenge the very 10 new law he signed into law. And he came in and challenged it. He said the 10 new law violate the constitution. The President Boga didn't say his legal advisor them. President Boga and Ellen did that 10 new law. President Boga signed that 10 new law as the president of the Senate. He signed that 10 new law into law. He helped sign into law. When he became president, he scratched it out. He said a contract, it violates the presidential right to appoint and dismiss. So he sacked 10 new people. And you remember that? So the same way, when another group come into power and another group of lawmakers then come into power and a legitimate lawmaker then sit in power, any concession company, any concession agreement, any document they sign, any contract with deal with investors and any kind of thing like that, the new group they can come and question all of them and reevaluate all of them and consider all of them to be bogus because they were done with illegal group. So these people, they are not doing the Liberian people work. They can't even go to work to do the right thing they're supposed to be doing. That they're fighting over power. They're fighting over the kind of small money here for short-term benefit. And that's the reason why their staffers can go and celebrate. The staffers can go and sing in the joint chamber. That's the reason why the staffers can go and tackle other people who trying to peaceful citizens who trying to go and demonstrate and say, go do our work. Then they come and do anti-demonstration and say, no, you are not allowed to demonstrate. Yeah, police bring a water truck and water truck here with hot water because they feel they're getting small change, forgetting to know that this change, this 16 million. It's short-term benefit. Agriculture in the national budget, where arrest agenda, the first thing in the arrest agenda, the first letter A is for agriculture. A is for agriculture. President Boyka sit down there. He said the first A in the agenda is for agriculture, which in the agenda is the most important development document in the whole country. The arrest agenda is the most important development agenda in the whole country. But yet they say lawmakers, useless offices, they got down there that ain't doing the people work, that they can go there and be bossing the door and tearing the door down and fighting over car parking lot. They giving 16.8 million to 17 people working in each lawmaker office times 73 lawmaker offices, amounting to 16.8 million, when agriculture in the budget only get 15 million. How leaders think. Our leaders are not thinking straight. They are greedy. They are self-seeking. They are looking only for themselves. When they gave our brothers then this $16.8 million now to those 17 people, each sitting in the offices doing nothing. When they get in the 17, these people now come outside and argue with us who are on the outside and say, oh, the lawmaker doing, oh, the government doing well, oh, the government doing. When you talk on Facebook, they kind of cost your man, they cost your power, they cost you to say because you revenue, so be talking in politics, go preach the Bible. They cost us for this 16 million. But what they forget to realize is that this 16 million here is defeating the long-term purpose of the country development in agriculture. Because if we're to spend more money in agriculture, even if they did not work in those lawmaker office, if agriculture is spent on more as just the way they put it as A in the agenda, the first letter A, if they put all the money there and say let's support agriculture. Let's support agriculture. agriculture across the country, strategically develop, like Dr. Nuta is trying to develop. Look, I give Dr. Nuta thumbs up. The agriculture minister, the current agriculture minister, I gave him thumbs up. We were advocating, we're making the same noise, we're making nice. Say, we need an agriculture plan, we need an agriculture strategy, we need an agriculture strategy. The guy went to place, now he have a very, very good agriculture strategy in place. That guy, Dr. Nuta, is saying some of the things we all advocated for 2 years ago, 3 years ago against the boycott, the CDC administration. We say, look, we need an agriculture bank that will focus on the National Agriculture and Development Bank, right? If you have a National Agriculture and Development Bank, meaning our developmental funding, our agriculture funding, and support to agriculture and other forms of development will not be relying on private banks. Private banks will not be deciding whether they want to give this person money or not. The other give the other person money. They will not be giving it to Lebanese people. We're not giving it to Liberian entrepreneur. But the bank will prioritize Liberians, give people money a tractable money you can traceable money you can trace within the context of data following, data tracking, all the kind of thing. That poor man, Dr. Nuta, cry on the national legislature, cry on President Boyka, cry on them, say, my people, you give me at least $10 million, at least $10 million. Let open the old agriculture bank. Let open the old agriculture bank so that we can put money into agriculture and take agriculture to the next level. We say, oh no, we gave you $15 million again. But in the meantime, we spend $16 million on do nothing offices, giving people 17 staff per office. So again, if we were to improve on agriculture, you answer the question for me. Will we not be able to employ more people? So 17 people times 73 offices. 17 people times 73 offices. 17 times 73 offices. 1,241. Will we not be able to employ more than 1,241 people? So right now we spend $16.8 million for 1,241 people for a do nothing office. What will happen if we spend majority of the money in agriculture, and agriculture create jobs, and agriculture create more jobs, multiple jobs across the 15 counties in Liberia, divided into zones like Dr. Nuta has done, divided the country into agriculture zones. Each agriculture zones are developing major agriculture projects, bringing in additional money for more employment, all that kind of thing. Don't you think we make more than 16 million, 15 million? Don't you think our country long-term benefit will be more than a short-term benefit? That's just one area. And that's the only thing I want to use to make the argument. So the argument here is that how our leader thinking? Why would they spend 16.8 million on good or do nothing office staffs? I'm talking about I'm not insulting the office staff themselves. I'm insulting the idea to put 16.8 million in an office that is not productive for the Liberian people, compared to giving in the same national budget, putting only 15 million for agriculture, which supposed to be funded aggressively as the national strategy to change, as one of the areas to change our government. Why? Why? I will make this argument over and over in different live video. This time I only talk about that wasteful spending, short-sighted spending on an office in a legislature. Only, I'm not talking about the senators, the senator own offices, only representative officer. Imagine if I put the senators' offices in there. Imagine if I put the salary of the lawmakers themselves there, their benefits, their $45,000 car, their fuel slip for whom, their gasoline for the home generator, the maintenance of their car, the maintenance of the generator. I put all those things there. I put entertainment, what they get is entertainment fee in the budget. I put any of those things there. I only talk about having 17 people in one office times 73 offices we lose 16.8 million in every year. When if we were to spend that 16.8 million added to the 15 million, Dr. Nuta will be able to open a bank that they call the through the Central Bank of Liberia. Dr. Nuta will be able to open that bank, which will become a public-private enterprise software. Some of us Liberians who have the means, whether you or myself who listening to the broadcast, can even put money, buy equity into that bank. Samuel Turner used to call it what you buy bond, right? Bond into the bank, or you buy share into the bank, however way they want to design it. But yeah, with the investment commission involved in it, Liberians across the world can also put money into it, but at least they may have the initial capital of $10 million in addition to the 16 million that we just wasted for a whole year. Even if we just reduce let's see, if we reduce the lawmaker offices, we just give them 5 office staff, right? I'm coming close. Don't worry, I'm coming close because my time finished already. 5 office staff, right? Times 5 office staff times go each office getting 19,000. 5 office staff times $19,192. That would be $95,960 for one office. Let's times that by times 73 offices. That would be 7 million. Right, 7 million. We'll save money. We'll save money. We'll save money right there. We'll save money. See, we'll save money. Only 7 million. So 7 million if I'm minus 16 million from there. So I would say 6 million, 6.8 million minus 7. 6.86, no, 16.8 million minus 7 million. We save 9.8 million. Like the Nuda can open our bank, the African bank. Each lawmaker get 5%. Can we make that kind of decision as leaders? Right? Can we make that kind of decision as leaders? Listen, and people, we gotta look at the long-term benefits and forget about the short-time eating. Just by doing that, even though we'll be cutting down, say 17 minus 17 minus 5, we'll be cutting down 12 people. But I can guarantee you, with the investment in agriculture, we employ more than the 12 people per office, and we employ more than the times 73 offices. We employ more than 876 people that will be laid off in the short term to benefit the long term. Instead of 876 people taking all that millions of dollars that we just talked about, that 9.something billion could be used to open a bank of agriculture. Why are we thinking the way we're thinking? We need leaders. We need true leaders. We need leaders that are forward-thinking leaders that will project the future, make the sacrifices now, and take Liberia to the next level. Thank you. And thank you for joining me until we meet again. It was a pleasure. Have a good day.